Hey YouTube, Wes here checking in with my vinyl inbox for the month of September 2016. Hope you're all doing well, having a great month. Hope you're enjoying some fall weather. I'm looking forward to some. Hopefully it's cooled off a few degrees here in Florida, but it's still in the upper 80s, lower 90s. So yeah, it's still pretty hot here, but I'm looking forward to some cooler weather, hopefully. Unfortunately, there's another hurricane on the way, so hopefully we can ride that one out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Got a bumper crop of vinyl once again this month. Don't know, can't help myself sometimes. Just always want to go out and shop for vinyl and listen to new things and hear as much as I can before I die. That's the name of my game. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first thing I have here are a couple pickups I made from Discogs. I added one more single to my Top 40 at 40 collection. Is George Harrison with Learning to Love You and Crackerbox Palace. So that's another addition to that collection. Of course, being that I was born in March, I'm noticing that a lot of these singles were actually released in 1976 that were hit singles on my birthday. So that's pretty neat. So a lot of singles from 1976. So that's from the 33 and a Third album by George Harrison, which actually I was just about to get cleaned up. It's in the rotation to be listened to pretty soon, which is an album I haven't heard. So that's pretty cool. And then I also ordered an LP from the same seller, sort of bundled things together to save, and that's added another item to my Stars collection, the Canadian indie rock band Stars. This is their album The North from 2012, I believe it is. Yes, 2012 on ATO and Soft Revolution Records. Stars album I have not heard yet. Look forward to hearing this. I always do enjoy their albums. They're always very, very interesting. A lot of different genres they play with and work with, and they're one of those sort of big indie rock bands that bring a lot of different sounds and a lot of interesting things to the table. This one just has a printed insert with lyrics on it, and it is on a beautiful translucent blue vinyl. Yep, so slowly working my way back and picking up more for my Stars collection. Have to go look. I don't know how many more I have to get as far as the LPs go, but I've got to be getting pretty close there. I got a pretty good collection now, so that was a nice addition. And I went to my local record store here again to pick up the new album Friday from Bon Iver. This is 22 A Million, just released this past Friday, and yeah, have both the first two Bon Iver albums and wanted to grab this one as well. Nice continuation of the last album, I would say. Pretty good. I've only had a chance to spin this once so far, but I did enjoy it. I guess I won't have to show it off too much, because hopefully you have seen a Vinyl Discovery episode featuring this album yesterday, maybe. Planning to get that one since it was first announced. I almost pre-ordered it and decided I'll just wait and grab it on first day of release kind of thing at the record store, and that's what I did. And while I was in there, I went through their new arrival used bin, which I like to do, and I found something really interesting which I didn't even know existed. This is Nick Thornburn with music from Serial, the Serial podcast. This is the music from season 1. The Adnan episode. Really cool. Apparently this was a Record Store Day 2015 release. So just all the theme music from the podcast. I really do like the theme music to the podcast. Didn't like how they changed it for season 2. I really like this first season one better. But it was nice to find this, so that was a nice used pickup. Next up is a pickup based on my viewing and enjoyment of the Netflix TV series Stranger Things. As soon as I started watching it, I started really getting into the music. Of course, electronic, ambient, soundtracky kind of stuff is really right where I'm at right now, what I'm loving a lot. And the soundtrack to Stranger Things is just awesome. 80s synthy ambient goodness, really killer, sort of almost horror film kind of electronic John Carpenter kind of sounds maybe. So this is the band, or two members of this band are behind the soundtrack to Stranger Things, and this is their new album, which was released this month, and this is Survive. And the album number is, they just used the catalog number for the album title, and it is RR7349, and it's on Relapse Records. So this is the release from the band. Take that out. Just came in a slip cover like that. Nice matte finish with some interesting graphic art on the front. Insert there. It's just on black vinyl. Does come with a download code, and this is pressed at GZ vinyl if you're curious about that. But just a really interesting electronic ambient sort of work. It's along the same lines as the Stranger Things soundtrack. If you like that, you're probably going to like this. That is also being reissued, or not reissued, but issued on vinyl. It's due out, I think it's due out this month in October. I have already pre-ordered it, so whenever I get it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that as well, and I've been enjoying spinning this while I'm waiting. Yeah, but just a cool ambient electronic modern soundtrack kind of thing from Survive. Next up is another Discogs pickup. I had this on my want list forever, and they send you the emails when new things on your want list show up for sale. And this one was only listed for like $3 or something. So I went ahead and picked it up, and that is Hugh Masekela with Techno Bush. Very much an 80s sort of electronic mixed with world music kind of thing. Almost like a David Byrne, Brian Eno kind of thing. Very interesting. I do like this quite a bit. I've only had a chance to spin this one once or twice so far already. Did enjoy picking this up. A really nice copy of this, still in shrink wrap, really clean. And as I said, for like $3, definitely couldn't go wrong with that. All right, these next few records I picked up while Kevin Hogg was in town here. Kevy Metal, if you're a longtime VC member, you may remember him making videos in the past. He hasn't made videos in a few years now. He was going to be coming through town and let me know he's coming through, so I said, let's get together. We went out and had lunch, and then went out and did some digging at my favorite record store here in town. He picked up some things he's been looking for his collection for a while, and I picked up a few things as well, and we had a really enjoyable day. So the first thing I picked up is an album from a band I love that released a new album earlier this year, and somehow I missed that they had released a new album. But that is the band Mind Spiders, and this is their new album earlier this year, Prosthesis. Early 2016 is when this was released. Mind Spiders are a punk band that mixes in electronic synthesizer kind of stuff into their music. Makes it a little bit more melodic, a little bit more interesting to my ears anyway. Insert them, some lyrics on Dirt Nap Records. In the past, these albums from Mind Spiders have been pressed at United, which is kind of disappointing, but this one is pressed at RTI, so that was awesome. I don't know if Dirt Nap has switched to RTI completely or how that worked out, but I was really glad to see that this was pressed at RTI, and it's definitely a nice quality pressing from them, so I did like that. I was surprised by that. So that's the new album from Mind Spiders, Prosthesis, 2016 release. And then I picked up a few used albums also. First thing we have here is an addition to the Art of Noise collection. I have this one on CD, but I wanted to pick it up on vinyl since it was only $3. This is their album Innocent Nonsense, or 1987 is the date on this one. Gold stamp promo. They recently purchased a large collection that included a lot of electronic type stuff, You'll see some stuff here coming forward. Purchased a really interesting collection with a lot of stuff I liked, and there was a lot of stuff I had to leave behind that I just couldn't afford. Next thing here, another $3 pickup. This is the Style Council with Internationalists. This one is from 1985. Really interesting 80s group here. Trying to get into them. This is really my first dive into the Style Council. And then one more used pickup while we were there. This is more of a higher price thing. This is an album from Klaus Schulze, Mind Phaser. This is actually a compilation from 1980, I think it is when this was released. This is on the German Brain label, but not the green Brain label. It's a black Brain label, but it is German pressing. It's pretty cool to have a German artist on German pressing and be, sort of, if you're not familiar with Klaus Schulze, he's from Klaus Schulze's of Tangerine Dream, of course. So this is, electronic rock kind of stuff. Really cool. Did like these selections, and since I'm still new to his solo work, these were new to me anyway. So it wasn't too bad to have a compilation, but that was a nice pickup. $12 I paid for that. Next thing we have to talk about is the Vinyl Me Please selection for the month. Pretty cool month. An album from a band I wasn't familiar with, but I was immediately interested in their music as soon as I heard a sample of it. First thing I'll talk about is they did do a secret 7-inch from Vinyl Me Please included with the order this month. So they just included this 7-inch with no notes, no track listings or anything. It just says A and B on it, and they want you to go onto their forum and discuss the music that's on here and talk about it and maybe try to figure out who it is. I'll be honest, I haven't really spent much time with this. I think I listened to the first track on it, and it sounded kind of like Prince. It sounded like to me, I think is what I remember it sounding like. It's a very pop rock, very glam kind of sound to it. But yeah, I need to spend some more time with this and check it out. Maybe go on the forums and see what I can learn about this. But that was neat that they included a little extra like that this month. And then the album of the month from Vinyl Me Please is the latest album by the Glass Animals. This is titled How to Be a Human Being. Kind of an indie pop rock kind of group. They did a really nice gatefold on this with a die cut cover. The art print for the month is just a sort of pixelated version of the album artwork. And then there's the two sort of inserts there, and then it folds open and you get lyrics on the inside there, as well as you get a nice 2x2 poster of the back cover artwork. So yeah, they did a really nice job with the release on this. It does include a download as well. And this one is just pressed on sort of a light blue colored vinyl, pressed at GZ Vinyl in the Czech Republic. Again, as Vinyl Me Please has been using mostly lately. So that is the Vinyl Me Please album of the month. October's album is killer. It's Beck's Odelay, which I'm really looking forward to getting on vinyl, and it's going to be cool to have a sort of unique pressing of that, and have a pressing of it, period, in my collection is going to be awesome. So yeah, check that out. If you want to get hooked up with Vinyl Me Please for yourself, check the link in the show notes below. That's a referral link that lets them know that I sent you, and I appreciate it if you'd use that if you're going to be signing up for Vinyl Me Please. It helps me out. All right, next thing, I got a couple more pickups from Barnes & Noble. I was down in Ocala again this past month and stopped in at the Barnes & Noble since we don't have one here in Gainesville, and picked up a couple new albums. First thing I picked up is an album I've been wanting to pick up and just haven't got around to it, and I wanted to grab it before it goes out of print, and that is the second album by Casey Musgraves titled Pageant Material. Released in 2015, I think. Yeah, 2015 is when this was released. I picked this up on CD when it was released, but I hadn't had a chance to grab it on vinyl. I have our debut album on vinyl, Same Trailer, Different Park. This is the one with Biscuits on it, which was a pretty good hit for her. Really nice to add that to the collection. It has that nice, I don't know what you call that, sort of foil iridescent kind of stamping there, but that was pretty neat. And this is pressed on sort of a white with pink marble vinyl in it. A nice looking piece of vinyl. I think this was pressed at Rainbow. No, this is pressed at United. Pressed at United, WG at NRP. So Wes Garland mastered it. It's got a U in the dead wax also. But a decent pressing from them. No kind of like orange peel or anything like that. No non-fill that I see. Nice pressing on this, and a good album. I really enjoy this album. If you haven't listened to Casey Musgraves, she does sort of a very modern poppy country kind of music, but it's very witty. It's not oh, my boyfriend left me, I feel so woeful, that kind of stuff. You know, it's more fun kind of songs that are just enjoyable and pop country kind of sounds. And the second thing I picked up while I was there at at Barnes and Noble is an album I picked up on CD the day it was released and instantly fell in love with it. It was a blind buy for me. I had maybe heard of this artist, but I wasn't familiar with this project. The album is over 10 years old now. It was released in 2005. But that is Ryan Adams and the Cardinals. This is their album Cold Roses from 2005. As I said, really cool sort of folky, country, rocky kind of stuff. Definitely love this album to death. As I said, I've had it on CD since the day it was released and always loved it. Never been a big, huge like Ryan Adams fan. I haven't really explored his stuff that much. I have Gold on vinyl, and it's okay. It's not my favorite album. I love this one to death. I was glad to finally grab this on vinyl. It has this beautiful embossed cover. Looks almost like a leather-bound kind of old book kind of thing is what they were going for, and it's really cool that they the CD is the same way, and it's really cool that they did this on the vinyl as well. And the inside just has amazing artwork, extremely high contrast and colorful kind of stuff here, and just beautiful. It's awesome to see this in a full-size version now. And they do include a lyric sheet as well, which is nice. And the vinyl itself, very heavy vinyl. It's got to be like 200 gram. It's just super heavy, but pressed at United. But it's done well. Again, no orange feel or non-fill on here. Not real quiet. It's a little bit poppy, but yeah, it's Ryan Adams and the Cardinals, Cold Roses. Glad to add this collection to my vinyl collection. Just an album I've loved for the past 10 plus years, and glad I have it on vinyl now. All right, next couple of albums I have here. I walked into the Second and Charles store here in town, sort of like a half-price books kind of store. They buy and sell used and new media of all kinds. And they put out a bin of records that were all marked down, a bin of new records that had all been marked down to $10. Just kind of clearing some stuff out that's been sort of building up over time, hasn't been selling, I guess, and it was all marked down to $10. So I picked up two things here. The first thing I picked up here is the first album from Vampire Weekend, self-titled album. 2008 is the date on this one. I sort of got started with Vampire Weekend with Modern Vampires of the City and really enjoyed it. Been sort of wanting to go back, but just haven't got around to it. And finally, for $10, I definitely wanted to grab this one. It was since it was new and sealed. And nice lyric insert with that one, and just black vinyl, pressed at United. So yeah, Vampire Weekend, self-titled. Glad to have that. And the second new discounted album I picked up was the most recent album by Mia. This is her album Matangi, 2014 maybe? 2013. It's been quite a while since this was released. Really good album from her. I don't know why this didn't do better. I really like this album a lot. She's a lot more hardcore on this album. Maybe that was just it. She went too hardcore. I don't know, but I love this album, and I've had it on CD for a while. Glad to finally pick it up on vinyl. Definitely one I want to keep around for a long time. Pretty nice gatefold on that 2 LP set. I think this was United pressing as well. Yep, this is a United pressing as well. This one is pretty poorly done. I'm glad I only spent $10 on it. This is more just an artifact to have than anything else. Mia's Matangi. Glad to have that one in the collection now. These next ones I picked up from the Amazon.com vinyl clearance center kind of thing. If you just Google Amazon vinyl clearance, I think it'll come up. They have a page where they list sort of like heavily discounted vinyl and CDs. And then once you get to it, you can kind of click on just vinyl and it'll show you just the vinyl records that have discounted. And these ones got down to like $6 and they were Amazon Prime, so I didn't have to pay for shipping or tax or anything. Or I guess I have to pay tax, but no shipping charges. First one I got here is album by Nick Jonas. Last year was Complicated, his most recent release. Features the song Close with Tove Lo, which I do like that song. So I wanted to hear the rest of this. Just sort of a modern pop artist here. There is the gatefold on that. That's pretty nice. And this being an Amazon exclusive pressing, it is pressed on clear vinyl. So there's that. That's pretty nice. So yeah, I won't go into too much detail on that. This is going to be in another episode of Vinyl Discovery. So if you want more detail on this album, you can find it there. And another one sort of along the same lines, it's going to be in a Vinyl Discovery episode. That is the album by Robert Glasper and Miles Davis. Everything's Beautiful. Another vinyl exclusive and sort of a blending of Miles Davis work with hip hop kind of thing. Pretty interesting. I believe he worked on the movie soundtrack and also did this as sort of an extra thing. A lot of liner notes and stuff talking about the songs and the tracks and how it's all mixed together and stuff. It also features Erykah Badu, Stevie Wonder, several other artists that I'm not familiar with, so hopefully I get more familiar with them through this. And this one is pressed on a red vinyl with a blue Columbia 6i label on it, so kind of a weird contrast there, but it works. All right, next thing, I have a couple albums I picked up in a thrift store down in Wesley Chapel, Florida. First thing I got here is a 12-inch. I normally don't pick up 12 inches, but I do like this band and I like this song as well. That is the band Air. I believe they're a French band, and this is their song Sexy Boy. It comes from their album Moon Safari, a standard 12-inch single. Normally that thrift store charges $1, but they were having a half price off sale, I think because it was Labor Day sale. Next up, I picked up an album by the Four Tops. This is Four Tops at the Top. I don't know what made me pick this up. Just, it's the Four Tops. I'd like to hear it, and I like the album artwork, and it was nice and clean. So, grabbed that one. Another 12-inch single, which I don't normally pick up, as I said, but this one was from 2000 and it just was interesting looking. I thought I'd give it a try. That is the single album Richard Ashcroft, A Song for Lovers, A Song for the Lovers, on Virgin Records. Yeah, just something, 50 cents, I'll give it a try. And the last pickup from that thrift store is another band I'm not familiar with, but a more modern release on the Sub Pop label. And this is from 1999. The band is called Looper, and the album title is Up a Tree. Again, don't know much about them, but it's Sub Pop, and it's from the last 20 years. So I thought it'd be definitely worth picking up for 50 cents and checking out. There's that classic Sub Pop Target label. I like that label. And the last two albums I have to talk about here are a couple free pickups from the Second and Charles free bin. Every so often they'll just put albums out in the free bin that either they weren't able to buy from somebody, and they can either take them back home with them, or they can just leave them out in the free bin kind of thing, or just stuff that's old stock that's just not selling. Every once in a while they'll go through and clear out. They put a bunch of stuff out. I think maybe Mike let me know they put some albums out, and I went by there and checked out a few things. First thing I got here is another copy of Seventh Sojourn by the Moody Blues. Pretty nice and clean cover. Since this has a matte finish, it does tend to get really dirty a lot of the time, but this one's pretty nice and clean. So for free, why not? Definitely grab that. And the last thing I got here from the free bin, it's a genre I don't normally pick up, but it was a UK pressing, and I don't know what made me grab this, but this is The Magic of Boney M. And as I said, this is a UK pressing of this, so yeah, sort of a funky, disco-y kind of thing, I think. So those are my finds from September 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video and you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. That lets YouTube know to suggest this to other people who like vinyl videos, and helps you keep track of any future vinyl releases I make. So thank you for that. Have a great day, great night, whenever it is you're seeing this, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.